If a person broke their fast through sexual intercourse. Remember when we said before that fasting involves sexual activity? Abstaining from sexual activity in the daytime. Sexual activity involves a few things. The most major one is sexual intercourse between husband and wife. We all know what I'm talking about? Good. In the daytime, if the husband and wife had sexual intercourse while they're fasting, it is a major sin. They must repent to Allah. And the fuqaha have a difference of opinion whether the wife has to make up the day or only the husband. I don't know, but there is that difference of opinion. Better both of them do it. But what do they make up? It's something called kafara, expiation. They have to expiate that sin. What is the kafara? The Quran actually says it. This is not hadith, this is Quran. It says in the Quran. It says he must either free a slave, buy and free a slave. We don't have any slaves today. So, fast 60 days in a row. That's tough. Or feed 60 poor people. Okay. If that person is unable to free a slave, he goes to the next one, which is 60 days in a row. If he's unable to fast 60 days in a row, then feed 60 poor people. If they are financially poor, then they feed whatever they can. And if they don't even have enough to feed one person, then they're exempt. And it doesn't matter about the future. One man came to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and said, Ya Rasulullah, halakt, I'm destroyed. What happened? He was newlywed. So don't get married in Ramadan, young people. Seriously. Not even 2 months before, 6 months, man. I think the honeymoon is like, what, 6 weeks? The older ones forgot. Long prehistoric. Brother, not here. But if newlyweds will have a problem in Ramadan, isn't that correct? Yeah, our children. So in Ramadan, this man came and said, Ya Rasulullah, halaktak, I'm destroyed. He's a young man. He said, what happened? He goes, waqa'tu ala zawjati. I had intercourse with my wife. He said, free a slave. He goes, I don't have a slave. He said, fast 60 days. He goes, Ya Rasulullah, I can't. What does it mean I can't? I can't stay away from my wife for 60 days, Ya Rasulullah. My energy is too high. He said, okay, what can you do? He goes, feed 60 people. He goes, I'm the poorest person in this city. So the Prophet ﷺ sat there. He waited, and then a man came in and gave sadaqah, some dates. And he said, here, take these dates and go give them to the poor people. He said, Ya Rasulullah, wallahi, I am the poorest. I don't even have food at home. So the Prophet ﷺ laughed and he said, you take the dates, eat them and feed your family. That's your expiation. Now, the Hanbali school, now there's a difference of opinion about something. The Hanbali school says that you should choose what is the hardest for you to do. So if freeing a slave is the hardest, then you can't do that. If 60 days is the hardest, do that. If it's feeding 60 people, do that. Whatever's the hardest for you. The other scholars, which is the majority, they said you got to do them in order. If not this one, then that one, then that one. So whichever one you're able. But in the Maliki school, they came up with strong evidence. Without going into detail, they said, no, there is nothing there to say the order. There's no evidence to say you have to do them in order or whatever is harder, but 3 of them are optional. So you can choose any one you want. Feed 60 people, fast the 60 days, or free a slave if you can, and that will expiate your sin, inshaAllah.